numeric and geometric patterns. Up to now, you've learned about the different patterns. Numeric pattern will be a pattern that are made from and is created with numbers, and a geometric pattern can be made from dots or matches or lines. And in the past, you just looked, what did you do with the previous term to get the next term? You learn with a constant difference or a ratio. But now you have to learn in grade 7 the rule, determine the rule to find the next pattern. With the numeric patterns, it are patterns that's created by numbers, and it patterns without a constant ratio or a difference. You get different ones. The names that you have to know will be a triangular number pattern. And in fact, you learned about these, you saw that, and you will recognize a pattern. You've done this in the previous grades as well. You just didn't learn the name. So with a triangular number pattern is a number pattern that makes a triangle. If you look at this one there, it will be 1, 3, 6, 10. So you add plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. It starts with 1, and then you add 2, and it makes a triangle. Then you add 3, it still makes a triangle. You add 4. So you add every time 1 more than what you added to the previous term, and you call that your triangular number pattern. The square number pattern, think of the exponents that you've done. With your square number pattern, it is square 1, so it means term 1. Here is term 1, and then you square term 1. 1 times 1 gives you 1. Then you square term 2, so 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and it's a square number pattern. A cube number pattern is when you get the cube of each term. So it's 1 times 1 times 1. 1 cube gives you 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 cube is 8. 3 cube, 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. You have to know and recognize in grade 7 up to 6 cube is 216. So when you get the square number pattern, you will remember in the past it was just plus 3, plus 5, plus 7, plus 9 is every time 2 more than what you added to the previous term. And that is actually your square number pattern. The next one is your Italian stallion, Fibonacci numbers. It is, here you add the previous term to this next term to get the next term. So it's 0 plus 1 gives you 1. 1 plus 1 gives you 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So you add the previous term to this term to get the next term. And Fibonacci recognized that if you add those terms, it will make a pattern that looks like a shelf. So there's a 0, 1, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. We find it in the snail shelf. Beautiful patterns in the nature. Then patterns with a constant ratio or a constant difference. It will be patterns that differ all the time, but you add the same number to get the next pattern. So if you look at this one, it is you add 3 matches. You're starting with 4 matches, then you add 3 to get the next one, and you add another 3 to get the third term. So it's 4 plus 3 gives you 7. So there are 7 matches in this one. So your ratio is a constant difference. There you add 3 again. Because now to determine the rule, because you add 3 every single time, it will be the term number times by 3. Term 1 times by 3 gives you 3. Term 2 times by 3 gives you 6. But you still need one extra one. So it will be term 1 times by 3 is 3 plus 1 to get the 4 matches. Term 2 times by 3 is 6 plus that 1 extra 1 is actually with the first one you start with 4 and then every time you just add a third one to get term 3. 3 times 3 is 9 plus the extra 1. So your rule, remember always first write down your rule. Your rule will be term times by 3 plus 1. So to determine term 13, first always write down your rule, term times by 3 plus 1. To determine term 13, it's 13 times by 3 plus 1. That gives you 39 plus 1. So in your 13th term, you will use 40 numbers or 40 matches. Or they can ask you, what will be your 13th term? And then you say 13 times by 3 plus 1, and that will be 40. The following one, also a geometric pattern, but it can also be written in a number as a number pattern. So it is, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. To add the next one, you will add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. So every time that you grow the pattern, you will add 5 matches. So it will be a number, or this one is a geometric pattern with a constant ratio. The difference stay the same. So it will be 6 plus 5 gives you 11 plus 5 gives you 16, and so it continues. So it will be 6 plus 5 is 11, 16, 21, 26, and 31. So to determine your rule, it will be term times by 5, because that's add 5 every single time. But now the first one, if I say 1 times by 5, it gives me 5. So what do I still need to get 6? It will be plus 1. So my rule will be term times by 5 plus 1. If they ask you to determine the 10th term, so then you write down your rule again. First, always it's term times by 5 plus 1. 10 times by 5 plus 1 gives you 50 plus 1, and that's 51. If you look at the next geometric pattern, now it starts with 6 matches, but now you just add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you add 4 every time, to determine your rule, you will say the term times by 4. But look at the first one. If you say term 1 times by 4 gives you 4. How many do you still need to get 6? It will be 2. So your rule will be term times by 4 plus 2. To determine the 25th term, for example, you first write down your rule. Term times by 4 plus 2. So it's 25 times by 4 is 100 plus 2 gives you 102. Remember to write down your rule before you replace the variable with a certain term number.